Yes, sir.
I got stuck as I was trying to ponder this on one question. The cataclysmic aspect of that is involved in evolution is caused by a resistance to necessary change.
Yeah.
I perceive the soul as resisting change, as threatening a sense of annihilation through its sense of its own structure, its own nature. And if the soul wants to survive in its current structure, what causes its resistance to the annihilation of its form?
First of all, the structure of the soul will always survive.
But not in its form. Because
the form of the soul is constant.
You know, that's where I have to grasp that if I don't get it.
Well, it's based on the ultimate evolutionary journey of the soul is to return or merge or unify with that which created it.
I thought the soul was expressive of a particularized form of individuality.
No, the ego is. That's what you're mixing soul with ego / personality.
Okay.
The soul simply generates and or creates a personality that it needs. It's like a coat over a body. Generates a personality that it needs to accomplish its evolutionary intent in whatever life. Each personality is oriented to the universal in its own unique way. Thus its interpretation and experience of that reality is unique to itself. It's a classic example of something happening, 10 people observing it and having 10 interpretations of the same phenomenon. Personality. That's what changes.
Would the soul be more a sense of incompleteness that is striving to complete and heal itself then through taking on certain ego characteristics to fulfill it in that incarnation, in an evolutionary kind of pattern?
I got lost in that question there.
Well, I sense if the soul doesn't have any characteristics of individual identity, in a sense, that's more of an ego, but the soul is an immortal, that doesn't add anything to the concept here, but if the soul has no particularized characteristics to it, but it's a more amorphous type of thing, and as I grasp the concept of soul, that it's an attempt at closure and completion of energy, and that the characteristics of the particular phase of this incarnation combines with an ego of a particular form in order to help the soul's closing and making more integrity for itself.
Well, it's got nothing to do with closure or integrity. It simply has everything to do with the fact that the soul did not generate itself. It did not create itself. It was created by another force. This is, in fact, the very origin of the Christian concept of original sin. The original sense of separation. What did I do wrong? And that's the origin of the guilt trip.
Well, the soul, as I see it, continues. If one of the fundamental characteristics of the soul is its persistence, then why is the soul persisting except for a sense of unfulfillment and a motivation of...
Because it comes back to this point of the past equaling the moment equaling security. We are talking about experience through time and space. The soul is a consciousness. It's immutable. It has memories like personality has memory. It gets used to being separate. And keeping in mind that the soul has not created itself in the first place. Of itself, it's imperfect. So if it's had a series of lives over many, many centuries, generating experiences, memories, orientations, awarenesses, it gets used to it. If I get used to wearing the coat on my body that's making me warm, am I going to take it off? Nah. Wait. We have to... What?
My question is on the same.
What?
My question is on the same.
Go ahead.
Well, then, if you come into this present incarnation with this soul that has all kinds of past experiences,
Yeah.
you you are carrying the past experiences with you into this present incarnation. How does this reflect or work with the ego?
It becomes the very basis of establishing that ego. All that which has come before, is every bit of it contributes to the totality of your personality that the soul makes this time. Because that past, future, and the interface in each moment will be reflected consciously in the personality. How many of us are conscious of the soul?
The past lives of our soul?
Just the nature of it. To have your consciousness, the center of gravity of your consciousness, the point of awareness of your consciousness, centered in the soul.
You never thought of it.
Well, that's why you have mystical traditions. That's the nature of meditation. To do just that. And to break the over-identification with just a personality in this life. So what you have, most of us can be aware of the soul by its effects, not the awareness of its causes. That's what is generating a particular motive, desire, intention, and so on. But we are aware of the effect. And that's how we can, in a echo-like way.
What makes us aware of the effect? The past?
Your life.
The present life?
Yes, if I have Pluto transiting my Venus, and I'm starting to experience the effect of my relationship degenerating, I'm aware of that effect. Am I not? Wherein is the origin of its cause? My soul is needing to grow, metamorphosize, and I'm experiencing limitations now, which is really to say limitations in myself. But I'm now projecting Venus through my relationship. I'm aware of this effect. Now, you see my point?
Now that's your ego.
The ego is conscious of that reality. Yeah.
First, this is like, we're playing with belief systems, but when you talked about God creating I can't even phrase it right, but I guess what I want to say is God creates because God creates. That's his nature. And resistance is what causes us problems. We have a dilemma we stop creating when we resist, or we create resistance.
Mm-hmm.
But you were talking about the interface between perfection and imperfection.
Yeah.
God could never be perfect because that would be a static.
Not true. What is called God itself evolves.
Right. Yeah, okay. So then all the soul does is take abstract thought and we live it. We manifest in physical realities to live out concepts that to the soul are unlivable.
No, because I understand where you're at. I mean, you're having a conflict between the natural order and all kinds of conditional thought sequences reflecting what is apparently called truth. And my point is, the whole nature of the soul and what your dilemma ultimately reflects is the need to unify with natural order, natural truth, not abstract. Because in the end, what you see, the natural order is very simple. It's what people call truth. In the end, the truth of the creation is incredibly simple. It's only when you start studying each particular point of creation that complexity occurs, which is the interface between Pisces Virgo. We are living now in the Virgo sub-age of the Piscean age. That's why you've had this incredible acceleration in technology and science and being able to look through the microscope to the point of seeing non-matter. Even the physicists have reached a point in their microscopes to where they can look so deeply into the nature of matter and or energy that there's no more cause. So that they themselves are making these statements, the causeless cause. Well, Buddhists said that, 4,000 years ago. So what you have here is the interface between the inner microscope, Pisces, and the Virgo microscope, and they're reflecting the same truth. But my point is that in the end, Pisces, it's simple. And it's only when you study the part within the total creation that you have complexity. And it's when you focus on the part that you make these abstracts. So, one more, yeah?
Do you have an explanation of why the source individuates the soul? Perhaps you're going to...
Why the source created anything? It comes back to this point of imperfection. Beyond that, I don't know. Who could?
Well, this is my question. Do you?
Well, that comes back to my point of the water in the cup. Because only so much the consciousness and the human structure can grasp. And there is that which is not graspable and or knowable from the point of view of human consciousness. And so that the nature of the biggest question is unknowable with respect to, so all you can do is describe phenomena and experience phenomena, and that which exists.
Something that is just accepted then.
To a limited extent, yes, it's true. But what you're accepting is the obvious.
But there is a why.
Huh?
Why?
The big why? That's like saying what's the origin of the Big Bang.
Wasn't the Buddha able to merge his consciousness? Wasn't that the point? To merge the consciousness with the wider consciousness?
Well, it's true.
Why, in a sense, the ego and the personal ego is not disappeared, but it's shifted into another gear, and you tune in with the other.
Yes, but look, even Buddha made that statement, that there's only so much that human consciousness can know even after it's merged. And in the end, the essence of Buddha's teachings, if it comes down to one word, is suchness. What is suchness?